Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Narada Bhakti Sutras. The Narada Bhakti Sutras are attributed to the sage Narada, detailing the path of selfless love and devotion, Bhakti, to Bhagavan. It is comprised of 84 sutras. The text outlines Bhakti as the highest, easiest, and most blissful path to liberation, emphasizing constant remembrance, service, and detachment from worldly craving. Phala Rupatvat. Phala Rupatvat, because it is the nature of the fruits of all yogas. Narada Muni here presents a unique declaration. Bhakti is the nature of the reward itself. This sutra provides a concise justification for why Bhakti is superior to other disciplines. Bhakti is the end, not just the means. While paths like Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga are vital practices to reach a goal, Bhakti, specifically Parabhakti or supreme devotion, is the goal. It is the perfected state of enlightenment rather than just a technique to achieve it. It is considered the fruit of all spiritual endeavor and the highest human objective. Unlike other methods that may be set aside once your objective is met, devotion remains as a natural, blissful state of soul even after liberation. Because it is an expression of the soul's natural state, it is often described as easier and more joyful than paths requiring rigorous mental or physical discipline. ईश्वरस्याप्यभिमानद्वेषित्वात् दैन्यप्रियत्वात् च ईश्वरस्य अपि अभिमानद्वेषित्वात् दैन्यप्रियत्वात् च. Also because of God's dislike for egoism and because of His love for meekness, that is, devotion alone is superior. This sutra provides a psychological and theological reason for the supremacy of bhakti over the paths like jnana and karma. Narada Muni notes that the divine has a natural aversion to ego or arrogance, which is abhimana. Paths based on pure intellect or rigorous ritual can sometimes lead a practitioner to feel superior, which creates a barrier between the soul and Bhagavan. Conversely, Bhagavan is fond of humility, which is dainya. Bhakti is characterized by the devotee's admission that they cannot reach the divine through their own strength alone, but only through surrender and grace. While knowledge focuses on the head and can lead to pride, bhakti focuses on the heart and necessitates a humble spirit, making it more direct and a favored path. Tasyaha jnanameva sadhanam ityeke. Tasyaha jnanam eva sadhanam iti eke. For the divine love, knowledge alone is the means. So say some acharyas. Here Narada Muni begins a short series, that is from Sutra number 28 till 30, where he presents different viewpoints before giving his own conclusion. He cites the opinion of certain scholars who believe that knowledge is the only means to attain bhakti. This school of thought argues that you cannot truly love what you do not know. Therefore, one must understand the nature of Bhagwan, the soul, and the universe through study and discrimination before real devotion can take birth. In this view, Jnana is the foundation and Bhakti is the building that stands upon it. Narada Muni mentions this specifically to set the stage for the counter-argument in the next verse. Anonyashrayatvam ityanye Anyonya ashrayatvam iti anye. Mutually dependent, declare others. While the previous sutra suggested that knowledge is the cause of devotion, this verse offers a different perspective. Another school of thought argues that knowledge and devotion are interdependent. This view suggests that as you gain more knowledge of divine, your love increases. As your love increases, your intuitive understanding or knowledge of divine deepens. According to this logic, there are like two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist and progress significantly without the other. Narada Muni is presenting these views to lead up to his own definitive conclusion in the following verses. Swayam phalarupateti brahma kumaraha. Swayam phalarupata iti brahma kumaraha. Bhakti is its own fruit, thus say the sons of Brahma, the creator, that is Sanat Kumaras. In this verse, Narada Muni presents the perspective of the sons of Brahma who represent the highest conclusion of the path of devotion. Unlike the previous two views which suggested Bhakti depends on knowledge or that they are mutually dependent, this view asserts that Bhakti is its own cause and its own result. It doesn't need to be produced by intellectual study. Just as a seed naturally becomes a tree if given the right environment, the soul's natural love for Bhagwan manifests spontaneously when the ego is removed. By calling it Swayam Phalata, self-rooting, Narada Muni emphasizes that joy of devotion is both the practice and the reward. You don't practice Bhakti to get something else. You practice Bhakti because Bhakti is what you want. Rajagriha bhojanadishu tathaiva drishtadvat. Rajagriha bhojanadishu tathaiva drishtadvat. Because it is seen demonstrated as such in the examples of palace and dinner and so on. Sage Narada argues that mere knowledge of a thing is not the same as the experience of it. You may have a map and full knowledge of a king's palace, but that is not the same as being invited inside and meeting the king. Similarly, knowing about Bhagwan is not the same as loving Bhagwan. As noted by Bhakti Vedanta, one must actually enter the palace to experience it. You can read a menu or a cookbook knowledge and know exactly how a dish is made, but your hunger is only satisfied by actually eating the food. This is being compared to devotion and experience. So we can conclude, knowledge provides the direction, but Bhakti is actual tasting or entering. Without the experience, the knowledge remains dry and unfulfilled. This particular sutra emphasizes that spiritual life is meant to be realized and felt, not just intellectually understood. न तेन राजपरितोषः क्षुधा शान्तिर्वा न तेन राजपरितोषः क्षुधा शान्तिर्वा. Because of it, that is a mere knowledge alone, neither the favor of the king nor the appeasement of hunger can ever happen. Merely knowing about a king's palace or his powers doesn't gain you his favor. It is your love and service that please him. Similarly, Bhagwan is not impressed by intellectual scholarship alone, but by the sincerity of the heart. You cannot satisfy your hunger by simply looking at a picture of food or knowing its nutritional value. The hunger of the soul for peace and bliss can only be satisfied by the actual taste of devotion. This sutra serves as a reminder that the path of the head, which is intellect, must eventually lead to the path of the heart, which is devotion, to be truly effective. Tasmat saiva grahya mumukshubhihi. Tasmat sa eva grahya mumukshubhihi. Therefore, that supreme love for Bhagwan alone is to be sought after by seekers of complete liberation. After comparing bhakti to knowledge and action and using the analogies of the king and food, Narada Muni delivers his final verdict. Because bhakti is both the means and the end, and because it is the only thing that actually satisfies the hunger of the soul, those who are serious about liberation, mumukshus, should focus their efforts here. This isn't just for a specific group, it is an universal recommendation for anyone seeking freedom from the cycle of birth and death. With this sutra, Narada Muni concludes the philosophical debate about which path is best and begins the transition into practical methods of how to actually develop this devotion in the subsequent verses. Tasyaha sadhanani gayantyacharyaha. Tasyaha sadhanani gayanti acharyaha. Ancient teachers sing differently upon the means of developing this devotion in the human bosom. Narada Muni acknowledges that he is not inventing these methods, but rather passing down the timeless wisdom of the great masters. This verse introduces the section of sadhana bhakti, or the practice of devotion. Now that the why has been established, the text focuses on how. By saying the teachers sing or proclaim these methods, Narada Muni emphasizes that this path is well trodden and validated by those who have already attained the goal. It prepares the seeker to move beyond intellectual appreciation and into active practice, such as hearing and chanting the glories of Bhagwan, the Divine. Tattu Vishayatyagat Sangatyagat cha. Tat tu Vishayatyagat Sangatyagat cha. Indeed, the sources of devotion are explored and exploited fully through renunciation of sense objects and also by giving up attachments to beings around. Narada Muni explains that to fill the heart with divine love, one must first clear out the clutter of material desires. Vishayatyaga, which involves moving away from the constant pursuit of sensory gratification. It isn't necessarily about physically running away from the world, but about no longer looking to worldly things for ultimate happiness. This deeper, that is Sangatyaga, it refers to cutting the mental hooks or emotional dependencies we have on worldly outcomes and people. It often includes avoiding bad company that pulls the mind away from spiritual focus. The heart cannot be filled with two opposing loves simultaneously. To let the infinite Bhagwan in, one must let the finite material indulgence go.